What's going on, family? I'm Scrapbook Boxing, the Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuff series. I'm going to continue my conversation with you concerning the complete history of boxing. I was sitting on my couch thinking about what fighter I was going to bring to you in conversation this evening. Should he be a boxer or should he be a slugger? What if I mentioned to you that this fighter would only have 7 amateur knockouts, but winning 155 of them? What if I mentioned to you that he would win championship titles in 5 different weight divisions? What if I mentioned that he would lose 2 different titles in 2 different weight divisions against the same fighter, the WBC middleweight championship title and the WBA light heavyweight championship title? What if I mentioned that this fighter had one of the greatest trainers of all times, and that trainer would be the head trainer of the 1984 Olympic team, Los Angeles, California, and those teammates would bring home 9 gold medals? What's extra special about this young man? He would be one of 2 members of the Motor City Cobra Club. The head trainer of this great fighter was Emanuel Stewart, and he would be the chief trainer of the famous and popular Kronk Gym. Of course, you know by now that this fighter's name is Thomas the Hitman Hearns. He was born October 18th, 1958 in Grand Junction, Tennessee. He would pass through the streets of Detroit, Michigan in 1963 till current. Stood 6 foot 2 inches and had a 78-inch reach. Thomas Hearns fought as a welterweight, junior middleweight, super middleweight, light heavyweight, and cruiserweight, and attempted champions in each weight division. He would have a professional total bout career of 67 matches, 61 wins, 48 knockouts, 5 losses, and 1 draw. As an amateur, he had a record of 155 wins, 8 losses, and 7 knockouts. Thomas Hearns would win the 1977 National Amateur Athletic Union Junior Welterweight Champion, defeating Ohio's Bobby Joe Young. He defeated Bobby Joe Young once again in 1977, this time in the National Golden Gloves as a junior welterweight. But this time he would add Ronnie Shields to his resume. He would unfortunately lose to Aaron the Hawk Pryor, but it would be the fight of the tournament, and Thomas Hearns would be the fighter of that tournament. He would defeat 14 opponents, 9 by knockout, in world title bouts. 14 bouts, 4 losses, 9 knockouts. He took on fighters such as Pablo Baez, Roberto Duran, James Black and Gold Schuler, and Randy Shields, Santiago Valdez, Angel Espada, Harold Weston Jr., Pepino Cuevas, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Iron the Blade Barkley, Mother Sutherland, and Fred Hutchison, Mark Mydell, Ernie Singletary, Marcos Giraldo, Bruce Curry, William Caveman Lee, the great Sugar Ray Leonard, just to name a few. Now Juan Rodin and many other fighters would be on his resume as well. He fought from November 25th, 1977 to February 4th, 2006. I met Thomas Hearns probably 25 times throughout the course of his career. And all dinners and Hall of Fames and meetings, seen him at fights, restaurants, so on and so forth. November 25th, 1977, he would score a second-round knockout over Jerome Hill at the Olympia in Detroit, Michigan. 1 minute 59 seconds of the second round. It was scheduled for 4. March 2nd, 1980, he would knock out Puerto Rican's welterweight former WBA world champion, 1975 and 1976, Angel Espada. He would become the champion when undisputed world welterweight champion Jose Napoles was signed to face undisputed world middleweight champion from Argentina, Carlos Monzon. Once Jose Napoles would face Carlos Monzon for his WBA/WBC ring belt, February 9, 1974 in France, Jose Napoles would be a victim of not only losing the challenge of the World Middleweight Championship crown, 6 rounds via knockout, he would also lose his WBA World Welterweight Championship crown by default to Angel Espada. WBA would no longer recognize Jose Napoles as the World Welterweight Champion, so they would strip him of his crown, leaving him only the WBC in the ring belts. Angel Espada would now become the 4th Puerto Rican world champion. He would lose his title to WBA World Welterweight Champion Pipino Cuevas, July 17, 1976 via second round knockout. It seems like the second round knockouts were in style. Pipino Cuevas would knock out Angel Espada in 2 rounds. Thomas Hearns would knock out Pipino Cuevas in 2 rounds. Boxing is amazing. Thomas Hearns would become the vacant USBA welterweight champion, knocking out Angel Espada 47 seconds of the 4th round. At the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan, in his 26th professional encounter, Thomas Hearns would have his 29th pro bout. He would become the WBA World Welterweight Champion, knocking out hard-punching Mexican warrior Jose Pipino Cuevas Gonzalez. Stopped him 2 minutes and 39 seconds of the second round that was scheduled for 15 at the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan. After his 3rd world title defense of his USBA Welterweight Championship crown. Now, Jose Pipino Cuevas was born December 27, 1957 in Mexico. He stood 5 foot 8 inches, had a total bout career of 50 bouts, 35 wins, 31 knockouts, 15 losses. The WBA welterweight champion, July 17, 1976, August 2nd, 1980. November 14, 1971, September 25, 1989 would be the years he would be in the ring. He would lose his first professional bout to Alfredo Castro via second round knockout, November 14, 1971, in Mexico City. In his 19th pro bout, Cuevas would win the Mexico's welterweight championship crown via 10-round knockout. Jose Papasquio, Mexico Arena in Mexico City, Mexico. In his 21st professional bout, Cuevas would defeat Andy Price, winning a 10-round unanimous decision at the Sports Arena in Los Angeles, California. In his second round beautiful knockout, June 2nd, 1976. His 72nd professional bout, he would defeat Angel Espada via second round knockout. Scheduled for 15 at the Sports Arena, July 17, 1976, Baja California. After 11 title defenses, the WBA Welterweight Championship title will be on the line against 28-0, 26 knockouts, 21-year-old Thomas the Hitman Hearns. Now, he would be his mandatory challenger. The Motor City Cobra would be ready to go. Hearns would face Ray Charles Leonard on the evening of September 16, 1981 at the Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada. Had the pleasure of being at that fight. I was also at Pipino Cuevas and Thomas Hearns' bout. Hearns carried his WBA Welterweight Championship strap with a record of 32-0 with 30 knockouts. Ray Leonard carried his WBC Welterweight Championship strap with a record of 30-1, losing, of course, to Roberto Duran. The referee was Davey Moore, and he would stop the contest in the 14th round. Both Leonard and Hearns would earn a combined $17 million for this contest. December 3rd, 1982, Hearns would defeat Wilfred Benitez in New Orleans in 15 rounds to win the WBC Super Welterweight Championship title. Thomas Hearns would face Wilfred Benitez. He was known as the Radar. Born September 12, 1958 in Bronx, New York. He weighed 140 to 156 pounds, stood 5 foot 10 inches, had a record of 58 total bouts, 51 wins, 21 decision wins, 30 knockouts, 1 draw, 4 knockouts, and 2 decision losses. November 22nd, 1973. November 28th, 1986 would be the years he would be in the ring. March 6, 1976. Wilfred Benitez would win 15-round decision over Antonio Cervantes in San Juan, Puerto Rico. It would be for the World Junior Welterweight Championship crown. After 3 title defenses, Benitez would win the World Welterweight Championship crown over Carlos Palomino, 15 rounds in San Juan, Puerto Rico. November 30th, 1979, 2 minutes and 54 seconds after 15 rounds. Via technical knockout, Ray Leonard, Caesars Palace, Nevada, would lose his WBC World Welterweight Championship crown. December 3rd, 1982, loses 15 rounds WBC Light Middleweight Championship crown. Louisiana Superdome, New Orleans. Now Thomas Hearns would lose the WBA Welterweight Championship title to Ray Leonard, just to be clear, April 15th, 1985, Caesars Palace, Las Vegas, Nevada, Outdoor Arena. Marvelous Marvin Hagler makes his 10th World WBA, WBC, and his 5th World IBF Middleweight Championship title defense. Thomas the Hitman Hearns would challenge Marvelous Marvin Hagler for what would be called the War. 3 rounds of explosive hell. The original scheduled date was May 24th, 1982. Thomas Hearns pulled out due to an injury to his pinky. It was at the Windsor Arena, scheduled in Canada. Bob Arum stated that Hagler would earn $5.4 million, 45% of the gate, 15,088 seat capacity and outdoor stadium, 12 rounds, title defense. I was at the Thomas Hearns and Marvelous Marvin Hagler bout. Now, March 8th, 1971, Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier. $18.5 million. Promotion gross, $1.6 million. People watched on closed-circuit television. It seemed like a good idea for this upcoming bout. Ray Leonard received $12 million, stopping Hearns. September 16th, 1981. Ray Leonard received $10 million against Roberto Duran, June 20th, 1980. $5.6 million from Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Steps on a scale weighing 159 pounds. $5.4 million. Thomas Hearns steps on a scale weighing 160 pounds. The referee was Richard Steele. He stopped the contest 1 minute and 52 seconds of the 3rd round, scheduled for 12. 600 closed-circuit television locations. June 15, 1984, Thomas Hearns takes on Roberto Duran in Las Vegas, Nevada, for the vacant World Junior Middleweight Championship title, knocking him out in 2 rounds. Roberto Duran was known as the Hands of Stone. He was born June 16, 1951 in Panama City, Panama. He stood 5'7", had a 66.5-inch reach, had a record of 119 total bouts, 103 wins, 79 knockouts, and 16 losses. February 23, 1968, July 14, 2001 will be the reign of Roberto Duran. He would earn the World Lightweight Championship title when he would stop Ken Buchanan in New York's Madison Square Garden in a very controversial decision, knockout. For his middleweight, light middleweight, took on Carlos Mendoza, Jose Angel Hernandez, Ken Buchanan, Ray Lampkin, Pepino El Toro, Edwin Verret, Sal Mamby, Javier Munez, Carlos Palomino, Ray Leonard 3 times, Wilfred Benitez, Kirkland Lane, Jose Cuevas, Davey Moore, Marvin Hagler, Thomas the Hitman Hearns, Iran the Blade Barkley, Vinny Pazienza, Jorge Castro, Hector Camacho, William Joppy, Pat Lawler, just to name a few. October 16, 1972, knocks out Ken Buchanan in New York's Madison Square Garden to become the WBA lightweight champion on the evening of January 21st, 1978, 12-round knockout of Espino de Jesus. Now, Esteban de Jesus was a very good Puerto Rican fighter. Fought him twice. He would unfortunately die of AIDS. June 20th, 1980, he won a WBC welterweight championship title, defeating Sugar Ray Leonard, 15 rounds. November 25th, 1980, he would lose the World Welterweight Championship title, WBC version, in 8 rounds, and a no mas to Sugar Ray Leonard. January 30th, 1982, he lost the challenge of the WBC Super Welterweight Championship title to Wilfredo Benitez. June 16th, 1983, he defeats Davey Moore in New York's Madison Square Garden, 8-round knockout for the WBA Super World Welterweight Championship title. I was in the second row of all those bouts. November 10th, 1983, he would lose the challenge to Marvelous Marvin Hagler. WBA, WBC, and the IBF World Middleweight Championship crown will be at stake. June 15th, 1984, he would lose to Thomas Hearns for the vacant WBC Super Welterweight Championship crown via second-round knockout. February 24th, 1989, he would win the World WBC Middleweight Championship crown, 12 rounds from Iran and Blade Barkley at the Convention Hall in Atlantic City. To tell you something about that bout, Roberto Duran would pick up Michael Carbajal, and he would call him Little Hands of Stone. And that's how Michael Carbajal that evening would be known as Little Hands of Stone. December 7th, 1989, he would lose the challenge of the World WBC Super Middleweight Championship title to Ray Leonard at the Mirage in Paradise Island. Vinny Pazienza, Hector Camacho, IBC Super Middleweight Championship. August 28th, 1998, he would lose the challenge for the WBA World Middleweight Championship title. Knockout, 3 rounds, via William Joppy in Las Vegas Hilton. The Super NBA, Pat Lawler, won the middleweight NBA, Hector Camacho, and he would lose. Camacho put an end to the career of Roberto Duran. He put an end to the career of Ray Leonard. I'm Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuff series, stating all great fights, all great fighters will never be forgotten on my channel. Just wanted to have that conversation with you this evening. See you in the next conversation. Be well. Peace.